Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with today's Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. And today I have this really cool sketch. You all, I swear I can't get away from the sketches. That I pulled off Pinterest, and it is Scrapbook by, I think this is Annie. And it has these 4 little pictures across the middle, and I thought it would be an amazing way to use up some more scraps. So I have 5 pictures, but I'm going to make it work, of my kids and my niece and nephew playing at one of the jump places. And I'm going to use the Vicki Boutin color study because I thought that those strips on her paper really made me think of that piece of Vicki Boutin paper. And I have a ton of scraps in my color study collection. So I thought I would use that, and then I'll have this black as background. And then I have this entire little case of, it's all Vicki Boutin. There's some color study, but there's also some kaleidoscope or art for everyone. There's a couple of different kinds in here. But I have them all in this box. So I have my paper, my pictures, my embellishments, and this cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So first I picked out what I could use size-wise and put everything like branding strips and stuff back. Now, I think this would look really cool if you took a ton of branding strips and did it this way as well. It would just be a lot more. I gut this paper because that square on the back I love. I have 3 of those papers left in my collection, but I still had no desire to lose all that paper. So I trimmed my black cardstock to 11.5 by 11.5 because I want a decent border so you can see those lines in that little on the background paper, but I don't want it to be a huge border either. So I thought 11.5, giving it a 1/4 inch all around, would be perfect. And so then I don't measure these. They're not all the same size. They're generally somewhere between 1.5 and 2 inches, but I wasn't really measuring too much. But I wanted to have a variety, so I used that blue and white stripe, and then the back side of it, which is that cool circle, almost like tree, the lines in the tree. So I love the way this turns out. This layout was super easy and so much fun, and the pictures help because they're uber fun too. But honestly, great way to use up scraps, and a really easy way to do it too, because there's not a lot of measuring. You can make these off and wonky, and the more wonky, the better, I think. So I'm not gluing those down right now, which you'll notice because I switched those, not the very last paper, but the circles and that blue and green paper. I flipped those back and forth, which is fine. So now I'm going to trim my pictures down. I had these created on my Project Life app, and so I can make 2 3x4 pictures on one 4x6. And then this one is a 4x6 completely, and I just trim it down. It's my son coming out of this huge pit of foam. So I've got my pictures trimmed down, and now I am going to get the strips put down. So I put that teal down first, and then I'm going to put the pink one down so that I have a guide. And in this sketch from Pinterest, they are flush with the right and left of the layout. So I did that too, and that made me even more excited and happy that I had left that thick border, since a big portion of it was going to get covered up with these scraps. So I love that you can see those little scrappy bits, the little paper pieces sticking out all around, because that's what it looks like. It's somebody dropped a big stack of branding strips on the floor. I think only a scrapbooker would see it that way. So I get these down, and I mean, this is the good thing about working with a collection. You know, everything goes together. And some of that came from a project pad, some of it came from a 6x8 paper pad, some of it came from loose papers I had. just a collection, but it all came from the color study. So now, because my pictures have been cut down to 2.5 by 3.5, I'm going to make black borders for all of them, or mat them all on 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Oh, just move the entire thing. I decided I wanted to distress them, and I do really love the way that turned out, because I considered giving them another mat of white so that they would stand out on all this bright paper, because some of the papers are darker, some of them are lighter. But then I thought if I distress them, because it's got a white core, it'll give it a little bit of white, but not like a full other layer. And I love how it turns out. And then I'm just going to wonky them back and forth. Now that middle picture, I am covering my kiddo's face, and I don't care, because he's the same kiddo right to the right of, coming out of the foam pit. The reason I'm using that picture is because I took that picture because they get the sticker saying what time they got there and proving that they've paid to be there. And I had a feeling that when he went jumping in these pits that sticker was going to come off, and I didn't want him to get in trouble. So I thought I'll take a picture of it so that if he loses a sticker, at least we still have proof that he is supposed to be there. And then, of course, I saved that sticker so I could use it for scrapbooking, and I can't find it anywhere. So, that is the way it is. I'll probably find it in his book somewhere where I've already used it, because I do that all the time. So anyway, I'm not worried about covering part of him up, or that he's kind of buried in there, because the reason I'm using that picture is because the sticker on his back has the date, the time, the place. So that's stuff I don't have to journal because it's right there. I am going to put a date on here, but not during this video. So this was spring break 29, not spring break, fall break 2019. And that is what I'm in the process of documenting is 2019. I'm caught up with 21. I'm caught up with 2020. And I am backing up to 2019 and considering 2018, even though it was a pretty rough year in my family, I think I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and go back one more year. Chronological stresses me out because I can't always figure out what came first, the chicken or the egg. And trying to do all that can stress me out. So, okay, so I'm looking for a title, and I love this card that says Today Rocked. I thought that'd be super, super fitting. And had I not used that middle picture and could have used that as an extra in the middle part, that would have been fine. But I felt like it didn't fit. Obviously all the color fits, but it just didn't fit. So I really love this vellum piece. And it says, loving this life of mine. And I thought these kids are like living their best life. They're out of school. They're at a trampoline park having a field day. And so I considered doing this something about all the happiness, but it just didn't look right, and I could have matted it, but I just really didn't want to take away from the cool strips of paper. So I just put it back, and I'll use it on another lamp. I do take this round color palette. I cut it in half, put one half on top of my niece's picture and one half underneath my nephew. And then I am going to mat this vellum on white paper. And I normally would just use some scrap paper, but my doggy was asleep behind me and I didn't want to wake him up. So I just used a piece of matte stack paper. I normally would not do that, but that's fine. It was worth it to not wake up the poor boy. So I just matted it on the white so that it would stand out and that it wouldn't that black wouldn't show through. And I just love this phrase. Was perfect and very, super fitting. And it fits really well in this little section below the pictures of my son. And so I just mat that, trim around it, and then I'm going to put foam on the bottom part because I'm going to layer it on top of a couple of those pictures. And because they are distressed, there's some lift there, and I don't want it to dip in. So I put that on there, and I've cut some little baby pieces to put on the part where the little word is that says of mine. And I love all the colors, and it goes so well with all those stripy bits since everything is a different color. And I am going to put some Nuvo Deluxe underneath the little words at the end so that they stick better. Usually I Nuvo Fun Foam, either on the one side where the sticky is and the other side, or just the other side. It's a good way for sticking everything down. So then I pull out my thickers for this collection, and I end up using this Hello Friend. And even though that yellow paper with the stars is like a goldy color, and even though where it says loving this life of mine, loving and of mine is in gold, I don't care. I'm adding these silver stars because I want to, and I love them, and they look great. And I don't have any issues blending gold and silver. So I put those on there, well aware that there was already gold on this layout. So I think that maybe these Hello Friend is from the previous collection from before Color Study. But I just fell in love with Vicki Boutin when Vicki Boutin Color Study had been out for a while when I figured out that Joann Fabrics was open in my hometown. They had closed, and I thought they had closed, and my best friend informed me that they had only closed to move to a bigger location. So, she's probably regretting telling me that now. So that's where I fell in love with American Crafts, and have now just fallen for all of the designers through Joann Fabrics and American Crafts, and then some. So now I have this new love for like Cocoa Vanilla and 49 and Market, and so I'm just all over the place. Echo Park, Simple Stories. I'm just working on it all. So anyway, here is that sketch again. I will have this linked in my description box. I hope you will go check out everyone else who's playing with off the board pineapple papers. Crystal Barrett started that, I think, last year or so, and it is so much fun. Look at all that color, you all. We were made for this. That's what that little chipboard thing says. I couldn't remember, and it came off that Vicki Boutin Hello Friend as well, and I loved it. Thought it was super fitting. Look how fun this is. Those kids had such a ball. So, and uber sweaty and gross. I hope you all will come back again tomorrow for the next Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and I hope to see you again really soon. Have a fantastic day, and happy scrapping.